Hey guys, welcome to another episode of Yes Users podcast, where we dive into the world of entrepreneurship, education, and digital transformation. I'm your host, Avinash, and today we have a truly inspiring guest who embodies all these elements and more. Joining us is Dr. Raej Padhiyar. He's the founder and CEO of Digital Gurukul, which is an influential training institute in the field of digital marketing. With over 10 years of entrepreneurship experience, heading almost 5 startups, authoring 2 best-selling books, Raj has left an inedible mark in his field. Without any further ado, let's welcome Dr. Raej Padhiyar. Dr. Raj, thanks a lot for joining us on this podcast today.
This is my pleasure, Ravi. It's great to be on your podcast. And I just recently, 1 hour back, I did one more podcast, but I was more excited for your podcast as well. So,
Yeah,
yeah.
that's what I'm betting that's what you said to the other guys as well.
No, not at all, not at all. This was a podcast that I was really looking for. I actually checked the mail as well, but I was occupied somewhere, and then
So we all know that you have worn many hats, entrepreneur, speaker, trainer, and author. Could you share a brief introduction of yourself with our listeners?
yeah, sort of. So my name is Dr. Raj. I'm basically an accidental entrepreneur. And I run right now the EdTech Academy, which is Digital Gurukul, where we train students in upskilling, digital marketing, growth hacking, social media, performance marketing, website, graphics. We teach students all this real-time skills, which is right now very much in need for everyone right now, for startup founders, students as well. I also run a blockchain company where we offer a B2B solutions to a blockchain enthusiasts, those who want to enter into blockchain in terms of the development, blockchain marketing, and then related blockchain services. So I'm very happy to be into the domain, which is very much trending, which is very much vibrant, and which is very much growing. Yeah, so this is what it's, and look at my education. So I did my bachelor's from National College. I done my MBA from Valinka. I done my MCOM from the University of Marketing from Ireland. And I'm training digital marketing since last 10 plus years. So I've written 2 books in digital marketing, and I conducted more than 9,000 plus sessions as well. And I love teaching students. Teaching is my passion. So that is what I really enjoy.
Right. Thanks a lot for sharing that context with our listeners. So, over your broad experience, what is that one pivotal moment that really shaped your professional journey?
While leaving the corporate job, which I was doing at Yes Bank, that was something which was very pivotal moment because I was stuck in a comfortable life, which I was doing with Yes Bank. And I worked there for 2 years after my MBA. And during the later phase of my corporate life, I always used to dream about launching something. I used to read the stories, watch something on YouTube, and but on the day of resignation, putting down paper, that was the very important moment. That is where the struggle and entrepreneurship kind of started from there.
Right, makes sense. So let's talk about Digital Gurukul a little bit, right? So what is the typical price of a certification at your institute?
So right now, the very minimum pricing, that is free of cost. We offer a free program as well. The minimum program basically starts at around 8,000 and it goes up to 25,500.
Right.
And yeah, so this is how the basic structure is.
So definitely, guys, anybody who's to us and interested in learning about digital marketing, which I believe is really in demand skill. Even we have a hard time finding good and competent people who are trained in this skill. They can explore your course. So what's special about Digital Gurukul? Because I know a lot of people are offering such courses. What makes Digital Gurukul special?
First of all, we started in 2014-15 and it's been right now 10 years. So right now, since 10 years, we are offering only one program, which is digital marketing. So that is what our expertise into. We don't offer like other academy or universities like 15, 20, 30, 40 programs, and digital marketing is part of it. This is what our expertise is into. Secondly, if you look at our syllabus, every 3 months we change our syllabus. If you look at the module, look at the content, so that will be carefully planned, designed, and executed. Number three, practical is the most important thing. So that is where most of the other academy or coaching or university lacks into. So what we offer is a 100% practical. So let's say if you're learning website development. So we from our institute, we offer you complimentary domain hosting, SSL email. On that, you will build up your own website, you will publish the content, you will rank the particular website. Because AI is trending right now, we have our own AI tool, which we have developed, our team has developed. So all the AI practice that you do onto AI, that is something very important. The third, which is very important, is basically, let's say you learn digital marketing. Now, you basically want to go out in the market, get a freelance project, but you don't know how to draft the proposal, how to draft the pricing, how to pitch to the client, what are the objections that need to be set. Let's say you're going for an interview, don't know what are the questions that can be asked, how to answer them. There are very technical questions which are there. So these are everything has been part of our syllabus. So apart from the practical training, you also get trained into the proposal pricing as well. The first segment is basically job guarantee. So
Right.
from our institute, we have a dedicated placement cell. We offer internship guarantee, job guarantee at a nominal pricing. And for that, we basically train you in resume preparation, in terms of your interview preparation. So you don't need to apply on Indeed, LinkedIn. You basically focus on your practical studies. Placement cell will look after your entire internship job. And in case you are into the startup, your growth as well. So I guess I don't think this is a complete 360 degree, training from the, faculties, from the syllabus to the practicals to the internship. So every aspect from the start to end that has been taken care.
Wow. So it's been almost 10 years since you have been running this, right?
Yes.
So what's like a general year? Like how many students are you training in a year for on an average?
See, so basically, we have a different training. So we train students in our campus. We also have a 20 plus university tab. So where we basically do customized B2B program. We also do corporate programs. So where we do for a social wealth and we have to have some NGOs. So we do some customized program with them as well. So in that sense, in a year, we basically train somewhere around 5,000 to 8,000 students in a year.
5,000 to 8,000 students.
8,000 students. And some students are already enrolled into our free courses as well. So they are learning from our free courses as well. So if you combine everything, this is how the range basically goes.
Right. And what percentage of that 8,000 or 5,000 people are able to get a job through your institute?
So basically, if anyone enter into the digital marketing, they have a diverse perspective. Let's say there are some students who basically are just 12 pass. They just want an internship because that is where they start. So they get an internship. Let's say there are some students who are looking for a job. They get the guaranteed job. There are some students who want to take their family business, which is primarily offline, into online. So they basically learn this particular program. Some students which are there because of the starting inspiration, they want to launch something, their own startup as well. So they launch their own startup as well. Someone wants to launch their own agency as well. There are some students who don't want to do a job. They want to do freelancing. They want to enjoy their life. So they enter into the freelancing as well. Some students wants to go out of the, from India to foreign. And if you going out of India, studying in any foreign university, working there is a mandatory. So if you have a digital marketing, then getting some projects or work in foreign country becomes very easy for them rather than working in Domino's or McD. So when students enter into this domain, they have a diverse need and diverse perspective. So that is where basically we are very confident and we are very proud to say that we are able to meet every student's aspirations and the perspective and what they desire when they enter into the Gurukul.
Right. So that's a very diplomatic answer, but still, you're running an internship and placement cell, right? You must have a record of how many students in a year are, getting an internship or a job through your, department. What's that number like?
If you look at that particular number, the only out of 5 to 6,000, around 20 to 25% of the students look for a job or internship segment. And out of the 25%, let's say around 20 to 23% of the students able to get their internship and job within like 3 months or 6 months of completion of the program.
Okay. Makes sense. No, see, this is what I was trying to...
I know, yeah.
Right. Thanks a lot for that. So, I saw, the books written by you. For our listeners, do you want to share what is the one pivotal, one most important thing that you have, that has you have written in your books that you want everybody around you to know? What will be that one pivotal insight?
So I've written two books. First is Social Media and Politics in India, and secondly is the Fundamental of Digital Marketing. And the pivot of both the book is basically every student, every entrepreneur, every working professional should understand the importance of digital in their respective life. How
Yep.
digital is impacting everyone's life. So the first book is about the politics. So how digital media is impacting the politics. And obviously, we are also part of the, every day you see Instagram, YouTube. So you kind of, get connected with all the political happenings. So indirectly, you are also part of it. So via that book, basically, the purpose was that you should understand how this political narrative has been set, how the IT sales basically work, how this campaigns and every content that is being shown to you on digital platform. What is the background story? Exactly it works. So that was basically the narrative of that particular book. The second book was about fundamental of digital marketing. So that was a very important book because most of the books available in the market focus on the theoretical aspect. Okay, what is digital marketing, principle of digital marketing, concept of digital marketing. So normally students tell to us, okay, these are the theoretical stuff. What are the practical tools in digital? What are the modules of digital? Okay, when you say SEO, just show the screenshot. Before even entering digital marketing, at least we should have a practical understanding. This is how it works. Like this is how the digital marketing world works. So with that insight, we actually wrote the second book, which focuses mainly on fundamentals of digital marketing. It is India's first academic book, so we'll find out major libraries as well. And over there, every topic has been, presented with the screenshots, with the tools, with the case studies, with the numbers. And it's a very short book, 170, 180 page book. So every student can basically learn. So that was the purpose of, the publishing the book to make the readers and audience aware about what is digital marketing actually it is.
Right. That's really interesting. So, because you are a teacher for digital marketing, what is the hardest part of teaching digital marketing? Like, what is the hardest subject? Like, there are a lot of skills and practical knowledge, which is involved in the subject, but which one is the hardest to learn?
See, hardest part in digital marketing, if I would say that is something related to SEO,
Right.
something related to affiliate.
Right.
Because SEO needs a website and affiliate basically also need the very good technical knowledge of how affiliate marketing industry works. And but more challenge in the something which I have noticed in the last couple of years is that the the method of training digital marketing is something is a very crucial. So for example, Avi, you want to learn something. If I'm training you, if I'm not that passionate, if I'm not using some creative ways to teach you the SEO, to teach you affiliate, you will basically find this concept very boring. So it is a responsibility of the trainer, how creatively you're using the examples, how we are using the day-to-day life as an example to teach students about that particular concept. Because right now they also have access of ChatGPT, they have access of YouTube, they can learn any which way. Why they are coming to use basically to learn something in a very different way, learn something in a very entertaining way. So education is right now very boring. You need to make it very entertaining at the same time, train something which is very, entertaining way. So that is what students are right now, have expectation from the trainer. So when you say that, okay, which subject is difficult, I say how difficult it is for the trainer to teach students because students, when we are teaching something online, then if student doesn't like it, they'll immediately turn off the video, they will leave. So you need to be, consistently very creative in teaching, and it's the most hardest part.
Right. I couldn't agree more as someone who's a teacher himself. Trust me, I've been guilty of creating boring videos a lot more than I care to admit. And what you're sharing is like, teaching is like, sharing that information is really important, but also communicating that in an engaging way is something really hard. Right. So for people like, like who are not from digital marketing, we know, okay, SEO stands for search engine optimization. Like, for a layman, can you explain what SEO is and how it helps?
Okay. So I'll give you the offline example. Let's say you have set up the one boutique store, right? You have set up took the office on rent, you have set up the store, you have done everything. Now what we want is basically customer to visit your offline boutique store, right?
Absolutely.
Now to make people visit, you'll do some marketing, you'll do some kind of marketing activity. Now let's say if people don't visit your store, obviously you'll be getting very disappointed. Or why people are not visiting my store. Exactly on digital platform, you have created a website, you have put up your products.
Right.
Now, obviously, you want that people should visit your website.
Right.
Now, what is a method of attracting those people onto your website? So, one of the very prominent and free marketing activity that we say that is called as a search engine optimization. That is where we basically create a content which people are searching for. So accordingly, people will find your content on Google. People will visit your content. They find some content, which is very useful. And accordingly, you'll have more website visitor. If you have more website visitor, you get more leads. If you have more leads, you have more customers.
Right. So that's absolutely like this is why people go for SEO. But then we hear these terms like on-page SEO, off-page SEO, black hat SEO, white hat SEO. What does these terms mean?
So when we talk about how to do SEO then, okay, so basically let's say how to rank our website on Google. So there are some people who say on page, there are some people who say off page, there are some white hat, black hat. Now, these are all the terms which has been used by people like us. Google, basically the reason that we do SEO is to impress Google. Google is like, the Shankar Bhagwan of the entire digital industry.
Right.
Because he ultimately decide which website would be on top, which website would not be on the top.
Right.
Now, to impress the Bhagwan, you need to do some puja archana, some mantra as well. So people like us have been this puja archana. Some call it as the on page karenge, so people Bhagwan will get impressed. Will do some off page and Bhagwan will get impressed. So this is created by us. Bhagwan has not said you need to do this thing. So there are basically multiple categories apart from on page and off page. So in total, there are 180 plus factors. So when people say on page, so there are 8 to 10 on page, some 15, 20 off page. But in total, there are 180 plus factors which directly or indirectly impact your website ranking. So if you're able to learn all these factors practically with the help of the tools, then you actually understand what Google wants from your website, on the website and outside the website. So that is how once you understand what Google wants, you actually work on the all 180 factors on not just on page and off page.
Yeah.
Getting a point. So that is something which is very important for everyone to learn, and that is where people get stuck up. Like, people only learn on page, people only learn off page, people don't learn brand factor, people don't learn spam factors, people don't learn other off page web spam factors. There are multiple categories which are there. Under the categories, there are many factors which definitely gets evolved. So these are some of the. I'm taking this podcast into kind of technical stuff, but yeah, this is
no, please. Yeah. So sometimes these are questions which comes into the layman person, but they're not able to get from. What I really liked about you, is the way you are standing out in this crowded field, right? So to mention your accomplishments, you have been featured in 157 media outlets, 15 plus awards, right? So what's the secret? How do any other person who wants to stand out in their niche like you, what should they do?
I mean, see, this is my expertise. Digital marketing, something that that is my expertise. Everyone has their own expertise. Like, see, you might be having your own expertise. I might be having digital marketing because that is what I'm in this industry since last 15 years. So I have been into that entire journey. I have seen students, I've seen agencies, I've seen some of the startups as well. I've been in this entire ecosystem. I know everything up and down, very closely since like many years. So let's say if I'm into your podcast, I can add some value to your podcast with my digital marketing knowledge. So that is what basically I really liked about. And see all these awards, all these news media features. These are just even if you look at the news media. So that is where I have shared my opinion on certain themes, certain topics. So, for example, what is expectation of education industry in the budget? what is the role of digital marketing, what is the role of digital marketing post-COVID, the impact of AI in digital marketing. So these are some of my expertise, and these are kind of my insert. Basically, I definitely put it across, and thankfully it basically get featured, and definitely the some of the PR activities which are also very important for any entrepreneurs as well, to be very honest with you. But at the same amount of time, it's all your knowledge. Even if you do 1,000 PR, if you don't have the actual knowledge, that will not yield you the desired results. So yeah, I mean, consistency is very important, because 10 years is a big amount of time.
People are not willing to put in that many years.
Exactly.
And they want quick results, which never happens. I completely agree. But let's go back to the early days, because this is where we right now things have been sorted, right? So we know, okay, now we are settled, things are going fine. But when you come, in those early days, I'm sure you had the doubt, am I in the right field? So what was your story, or what was your experience in the initial days?
So I'll tell you my journey. Basically, when I left the job, I tried 2 or 3 startups. That time, Ola, Uber was very popular. People used to take a cab on loan and then put it across, and they used to call themselves entrepreneur. So I tried couple of these 2, 3 businesses as well, but that couldn't work out. And then I focused on my skill set, my strength, and then digital marketing was something that I felt that okay, education is something that I can work upon. Then I tried in Mumbai, and then something couldn't work out. Then I ran away from my home. Then FIR was filed, and then I fled to Indore. There was no relative, there was no family members. I was alone. I had my saving that I earned from my 2 years of Yes Bank, and only had like a couple of lakhs. And I took the office on rent. I used to stay there. And because of digital marketing, I started doing Instagram, Google Ads campaign, and started doing some of the seminars, workshops. Because Indore was new, first of all, I did market research, visited a couple of colleges, universities, took the appointment of the professor. They used to kept me waiting, okay, no, you to wait or something. And I actually understood, because I did my education in Bombay, so I understand the education and what Bombay looks like. And when I visited Indore, I was like, there is a huge gap, what they are learning and actually what is required in the market. So I saw that the huge gap. And that is what I thought 2014-15 was a very early. The digital marketing was, even professor was not aware of. They're like, what is digital marketing? There was no subject at all in the university. And there are a couple of universities who actually hijacked our syllabus. They are teaching it, but they don't know how to teach. And okay, they asked us, okay, you give us the paper, sir. There was one university, they asked me, okay, sir, can you give us the question and answer? Okay, so it would be very helpful for us. So there are so many stuff which happens in the university part. So that is what we understood. Okay, this is a very, very good demand. And then I started with the seminar workshop. Initially couldn't work it. So I started with 4 seminars, hardly 2 or 3 students attended. Then I started with the workshop. So that also got a mixed response, because digital marketing was something like one banayega isme career. And every month there was a fixed expense, there is rent, there is other stuff. So what I used to do, I used to sell out one system every month to pay out the rent and other expenses. So that happened for 4 to 5 months. And then on the 6 months itself, I finally did some, good amount of marketing. That is a make and break. If this happens, then it's fine. Otherwise, I'm back to Bombay and start searching for some job on LinkedIn. And that was a make or break. 6 months where I got like 6 to 8 students registered for the paid program. Even the pricing was very less, around 5 to 6,000. But at least I thought, okay, people are actually taking interest. And my PC is basically saved, because I don't need to sell it on OLX. And that is what the journey started. So overall, started from 1 batch, 2, 3, 4, 5, and these early students started, focusing more on, they joined the organization as an intern. Some focused on, research, some focused on counseling, some become HR, some become, handle the sales. So this initial students actually become part of my core team. And that is how, the journey of, 1 class, 2, 3, 4 accordingly started to.
Right. So what was the year when you first became profitable, right? Since you started, how many years did it take for you to become profitable?
Within like 6 months. Because what I realized in the first 6 months, that you need to see, to become profitable, you need to control the expenses. I didn't have any expenses. Okay, so all these students was my intern. I didn't focus much on traditional marketing. I focused more on digital marketing. That particular era, 2015-16, digital marketing was very cheap. or even if you want to do influencer marketing with a very good number of followers, you don't need to only need to pay a couple of hundred or $1,000. If you want to do paid advertisement right now, if you see the kind of reach that Meta basically gives and kind of the reach that, couple of years into gets a huge difference. So we got that particular leverage as well, and we got good visibility as well. And so within the 6 months, we were quite profitable, not much profitable, we were in the profitable stage.
One of the reason when I was doing my research, what's special about Indore, right? See, people who have not visited Indore, right, they think Indore is just another tier B cities, right? To be honest, right? But there's something special about Indore, right? Especially in the digital marketing era. I know a couple of entrepreneurs who are running their startups out of Indore, and the work ethic, it's just a different thing. Like, why there is no any other tier B city like Indore?
Indore is vibe. Indore is emotion. Number that is purely on emotion side.
Right.
Even if you look at the business side, number one, basically the location of Indore is very strategic, right? So, for example, anyone from Rajasthan, anyone from Uttar Pradesh, anyone from Bihar, anyone from Gujarat, anyone from Maharashtra, anyone from Delhi itself or Jharkhand itself, they want to basically, go to any prominent education academy. Indore becomes a very strategic location. Number one, basically, you can travel to Indore overnight. Number two, the cost of living is very cheap. I mean, compared to the metro cities. Number three, resources that you get is very cheap. Number four, since it's the cleanest city, so basically, it's the municipal corporation and other stuff is obviously properly maintained. Number six, the women's securities I see because there are many students across the different part of the MP Rajasthan come to Indore. I never seen any stuff regarding to women's safety as such. So that is something which is very important for parents as well. So from the parents' perspective, from the location perspective, from the vibe perspective, I think Indore is something which is, attracts people. Indore attracts people.
Right.
So that was also for us as well, because when we were running at academy, many parents, because parents normally teach their students, their kids' decision regarding to their career. So when they hear about Indore, they're like, no, it's safe. Indore we can send. Okay, so Indore, they feel, okay, hostels areas there, hostels are very cheap. So every facility and the education overall, the cost of living is basically very cheap and affordable, and at the same time they're getting a good quality. It's what
Right. Because there's so many startups who are working out of Indore, right? And I never hear any other tier B city getting that having so many startups, right? So I always wanted to know what is special about Indore. So that's
I forgot about food as well. Indore food definitely gonna love it. Apart, this is the most important news.
So I'll try to visit. It's on my bucket list to visit Indore. Let's see when things pan out. So now we have a full Karan Johar wala rapid fire round for you. So you have to answer the questions very quickly. Coffee or chai?
None. I'm not a coffee lover. I'm not a tea lover. I'm to be very honest with you, I don't have any tea addiction. Normally, this is a bit strange because people have that assumption, okay, if you're working late night, you need to have a sip of coffee, tea or something. I don't have any addiction. And I'm very happy for that.
Lucky you. I can't function without coffee. So, favorite social media platform?
Twitter, now X.
Right. Third question, early riser or night owl?
Or night out.
One word to describe your leadership style.
Chill out. And I'm not that type of bossy nature. It's a kind of chill out nature. Just pick the right person and give them the freedom to work.
All right. iOS or Android?
iOS.
Okay. Next question. What book do you recommend to fellow marketers?
Fellow marketer, my book, Fundamental of Digital Marketing.
Yeah. Meri book best. Good. Last question. Beach vacation or mountain escape?
Earlier, I used to like mountain. Now, I have a kid of 1.5-year-old, so my son prefer a beach because he like to play around in the beach, sand and everything. So now my choice has basically changed after my son is.
Right. So, yeah, as we are running out of time, I'll ask just one last question. What advice would you give to young entrepreneurs looking to build a successful startup like you?
Number one, you launch a startup in new domains rather than the existing domain. So right now, AI is basically booming.
Right.
Blockchain is booming, crypto is booming. So just focus on this new areas because when I started digital marketing was very new. Right now, basically, it's kind of, everyone knows about it, right? So it starts something which already, something which is very trendy, which is something very new. Number two, build a core team, which is very important. You can't do everything alone. You need to have a very good set of team. So start with the team. And number three, most important than releasing the funding, valuation, focus on building the relationship with your customers. Because customers are the thing, they will give you all the honest feedback. Customer will tell you whether your product is good, not good. Just be in touch with your customers. That's it. These are the three important advice that I can give to entrepreneurs. And obviously, some popular boring stuff, patience, hard working. This is obviously are available on internet. But these are the three insights which are very much important for any startup to at least venture into, or maybe they want to grow this.
Well said. Completely agree. So, Dr. Raj, thanks a lot for coming on this podcast. It was really entertaining, enlightening, and informative. We got to learn so much. Thanks a lot.
Thank you so much, sir. It was my pleasure to be part of this entire podcast. Thank you so much, sir.
That brings us to the end of this enlightening episode of Yes Users podcast. A big thanks to Dr. Raej Padhiyar for joining us today and sharing his wealth of knowledge and experience. We hope you enjoyed this conversation as much as we did. If you want to learn more about Dr. Raj and his work, be sure to check out Digital Gurukul and his best-selling books. Don't forget to subscribe, leave a review, and share this episode with your friends and colleagues. Until the next time, keep innovating and keep saying yes to your users' feedback.